Greetings, salutations of peace. I am the Rastafari. I am I. I like to share this information with my Christian friends. I'd like to share this information with all of my friends. About 35 years ago, I came across a book called The Light of Egypt. For your information, the Light of Egypt is the Sirius star. I was in the library one day and my hand automatically went up to the shelf and pulled this book down with The Light of Egypt. From this book, I learned of astrotheology. And from that time on, I learned that the Bible was allegory, metaphor, and similes. And every noun has a deeper level of meaning. Since that time, I have been blessed to learn the codes of Quran. I have been blessed to learn the codes of the Bible. The Bible being astrotheology, that's written in the stars, and the movements of the stars is recorded in the scripts as allegory, metaphors, and similes. I've learned many things. I've noticed that some people take the script literally, and they say, when you try to tell them about the hour at which we live, they say, Jesus said, no man knoweth the hour. And they use that very, very dangerously, not knowing the codes. And some people say you have to worship God in spirit. Yes, God dwells within me. It that we call God dwells within me as me. It dwells within you as you. As a Rastafari say, one love, means that everything from the tiniest atom to the largest star is He, our God. But what the Christians are not aware of is that God, Allah, the God, is a group of men, giants of giant intellects. These men are so powerful that they have placed mountains upon orb-ship earth. So if we go back to the Sumerian scripts, and if we study the ancient Egyptian texts, we will learn that the Anunnaki are these men, but some people will never get that. Many are called, few are the chosen ones. So I am speaking this afternoon, tonight, in hopes that there are spiritual ears, for my words are audible to spiritual ears only. And I am speaking expressly to those ones who are ready to accept what I am about to reveal. I wish you to know that that ignorance is oftentimes evil not knowing itself to be so. Evil is oftentimes ignorance not knowing itself to be so. So we are in a time now. You go to the script and it says Jesus told his disciples to watch. And there is a saying, no man knoweth the hour. And a lot of people are stuck on that. No man knoweth the hour, they say. In 2012, they say the world was going to end, but it didn't. As we know it, the world ended. We have same-sex marriages now. That was passed right on 2012. And at that time, over 65% of the earth of the United States was covered with snow. Things changed. Year 2000, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter aligned with the earth for the first time in 6,000 years. 5 naked eye planets with the earth for the first time in 6,000 years. The prophecy said that trillions of tons of ice would sweep over the planet. So, if you notice your refrigerator, it takes a lot of heat to make ice. So the Lord said it would be fire this time and not water. The friction, the fornication, the lusting, the same-sex marriages, women loving women, men loving men, and all this type of thing, that's the heat. So this heat is generating the fire, and the world is aflame. It is burning. So, we're going to come back. I'm going to skip around, but we're going to come back. Many of us have read the famous quote of the Messiah, of Jesus in the Gospels, when he declared that his second coming would be at a time that no man knows. But how many of us knew that he was actually making a reference to the Feast of Trumpets when he spoke his Hebrew idiom? What is an idiom? An idiom is an expression that does not make sense in other languages, other than the one being spoken. Here's an example of an idiom in English. It's raining cats and dogs. Everyone knows that when this expression is being used, that there are not actually cats and dogs falling from the sky. Everyone knows that when this expression is being used, that you don't look outside, you don't see cats and dogs falling. It's an expression that means that it is raining very heavily. It is raining very hard. Only those who speak English would understand this expression. But in other languages, it does not make sense. As such is the case with this Hebrew idiom for the Feast of Trumpets. The Feast of Trumpets was known by those in ancient Jerusalem as a day that no man knows. I'll say again for clarity, the Feast of Trumpets was known to them at that time, those Jews, as the day that no man knows. And why is it called this? Well, it is because this is the only feast that is determined by the sighting of the new moon. And so no man can calculate the exact day or hour, but when this feast day will begin. They cannot calculate the time when that feast day began. There were 2 watchmen that stood upon the wall with the horn, with the trumpets. The 2 witnesses who would stand on the walls of Jerusalem and watch for the first silver crescent, for those 2 horns of the new moon. And when the Father in heaven allowed them to see that, they sounded that shofar. The 2 witnesses, they sounded that trumpet. And all the people in the city would immediately drop what they were doing, and then they would run towards the temple for the celebration of the day of the blowing. You are now in tune. On the one, the force itself, at this time, we call it the Holy Master Blaster Jam. The temple doors were only open for a short period of time. And if they failed to make it to the temple before the door was shut, those who were slack and running in the temple, they were left out of the feast because the doors was shut, and it was nighttime. It was in the afternoon, and it was nighttime. So remember the story of the virgins, where there was the virgins, when Jesus told the parable of the 10 virgins, and only 5 of those virgins were wise and had their oil lamps filled when the bridegroom came. But the other 5 were foolish, and they had no oil in their lamps, so they could not see their way in the darkness. The foolish virgins went to buy oil for their lamps, and this caused them to be late for the feast, and then the doors were shut. So we're talking about these idioms, and we're talking about these parables, and we're talking about the allegories, metaphors, and similes. But we can plainly see. So what Jesus was talking about was the time of the feast. He was talking about the time of the Jewish New Year. That's what he was talking about, the Feast of the Trumpets. So let us look at September 2017, during the Jewish Feast of Trumpets and Yom Kippur and all that. Let's go to Revelations 12, the sun-clad woman. Now, no man knoweth the hour, but there's something that's taking place here. We'll go to the Feast of the Trumpets. Revelations 12, Virgo. At that time, Revelation 12 will be revealed in the heavens. September 20 to 23rd, Virgo will appear in the skies, and the Son of Man, or the Messiah, will be born to Virgo, the Virgin Mary. Jupiter, the messenger, will come between her legs. He will be born. This is very significant. So we're going to stop right there. We're going to go back to all these other, the Maya prophecy 2012. Well, in the year 2000, I learned that they were, from the movements of the star, from the movements of those planets, it took like a 19-degree arch, 17 days from May 5. But note that before May 5, the Ross ice shelf had broke off about 200-something miles long. So the poles began to shift then. The poles began to shift. So I use the analogy of a man jumping off the Empire State Building. He's not going to suddenly hit the ground. It's going to take him some time to hit the ground. So from 2000, I learned that there was like in 2000, I learned that it's going to take about 17 years before that man hit the ground, or before the poles, the shifting totally climaxed. So 2012, he got a little closer to the ground, so we could see all the same-sex marriage, the pedophilia, and all these things coming out. So we're burning up. The heat is really burning. You got women marrying women, men marrying women. Man, I think you get the picture. But check this out. We'll go to the Nation of Islam, because the Nation of Islam is divinely tied into the esoterica of the occultism of the United States. Notice in the year of 1988, and all the Muslims should be aware of this, that the Nation of Islam dedicated their temple, which is Mosque Miriam. Actually, it was the temple that Elijah Muhammad owned in the past, and he lost it. Farrakhan acquired it again. Now, why didn't he name this temple Temple Elijah Muhammad? Why was it named Miriam? Miriam is Mary, so Mary, Virgo, Miriam, the same thing. Okay, notice that this event was called the overwhelming event. There was a dowse, or an elevated stand with an electrical mechanism at the top. When you push the button, there was a light on top of the building of Mosque Miriam. A crescent and the star was on the top of Mosque Miriam. Now, there were a few dignitaries from different sun-dried block movements, religions, etc. Farrakhan there, it was all symbolic. Farrakhan wore a British derby, a British uniform with a British derby. Now, in christening this building, it would seem that Farrakhan would be the one that put his finger there and turned the light on. No, it wasn't Farrakhan. It was Khalid Muhammad, who later got taken off the scene, just like Malcolm X was taken away from the scene. So we have the government and Farrakhan doing their thing again. So look, Khalid Muhammad on his index finger, well, on his ring finger, had the index finger. His finger turned the light on. On his finger was the moon and the crescent, the star and the crescent. His finger turned the light on, symbolic of who was the righteous one, who was the man of the hours, like Malcolm X back in the day. So you know Farrakhan and Khalid fell out. That's when Farrakhan went over to the Illuminati. By him wearing the British derby, and I've had a personal experience with Farrakhan, so I'm qualified to talk or say what I'm qualified to say what I am saying. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call the Holy Master Blaster Jamin. I am your brother, the Rastafari, Aital, Ayman. Yes, I am. Now, this was called the overwhelming event. It was very symbolic on a lot of levels. On one level, it was a symbol of making an exodus. They moved into the temple. Some of them went to Ghana to go in real deeper into this allegorical exodus. But remember, at that time, politically, Jesse Jackson was running for president. This was in 1988. Jesse Jackson was running for president. He was running against, his opponent was Dukakis. The theme of this debate, as they had the debates, the Democratic debates, was two want to brawl. Like two men want to brawl. It was a pun. It was a play on word. Two want to brawl. And that was a play on the name To Wanna Brawler. Remember at that time, supposedly, this ghetto girl, Tawana Brawley, was raped by 6 white men, which symbolized the 6,000 years of the white man's rule. Now notice Farrakhan having a British derby. He sold out. He became a part of the Illuminati. He picked her up, so to speak. She's supposed to have been put into a bag, and they supposed to have a defecated on her. Farrakhan picked her up symbolically, cleaned her up, brought her into the temple. Elijah Muhammad's last wife, Tanetta Muhammad, now demised or now deceased, had a dress. She called it Code 19. Notice Tanetta Muhammad was always dealing with the codes, the Code 19. She was dealing with esoterica. So Farrakhan gave her a name as if though he was getting a wife, another wife. He gave her a name, Miriam. Farrakhan named Tawana Brawley Miriam. They brought her into the temple. Tanetta Muhammad gave her a dress. That actually happened. That's a fact. Now, Miriam, the temple was not named after Muhammad. It was named Miriam. Now, we go to, now this was a Greco-Roman type building. Okay, now we go to Atlanta, Georgia. There's a man there called Silas Muhammad. We're still talking about the hour. There's a man there called Silas Muhammad. He lives in his temple is a building on a Greco-Roman style, a Masonic style, the Greco-Roman type building. South Muhammad and his group, Elijah Muhammad to them is known as Mother Mary. They call Elijah Muhammad is known as Mother Mary. Now, we're talking about esoteric, we're talking about the Masonic order, we're talking about what's called the Illuminati. Now, understand what I just said. Notice that building, last time I was there, that was years ago, it was on Camelton, I think the place is called Camelton Road. Not Cableton Road, but Camelton, I believe it's called. And I've talked to Silas. I've had esoteric experiences with Silas also. All of them. I've met most of those brothers. So we see this Mary thing playing out. Now, if we go to the United States of America, we see another Greco-Roman structure, and we also see Egyptian structures and all of this. So Virgo, Mary and Virgo knows the same thing. So a lot of the buildings and the structures there in District of Columbia, it used to be a female symbol also. District of Columbia, Virgo is prevalent. So now all this is connected together. So during those Jewish feasts, the holidays at that time when the trump's supposed to be sounded, master blaster jammer, if you get my point, in the heavens, Virgo will be there also. Jupiter will come, the Savior will come between her legs. So we see the final call happening. We see the trump sounding. You're now in tune. You're actually, literally, on the one, the force itself. We call it the Holy Master Blaster Jammer. So the hour is known. Jesus back in those days was talking about this day that we're coming up in the year 2017. So he said, watch. And he said that when one of the things he said was when you see the armies gathered around Jerusalem, you know that we're in this particular day. So I remember back in 2013, I took a look over there in Jerusalem, and they had about 30 warships around the area. And I'm sure if you look over there now, you'll see the armies gathered around Jerusalem. But don't even think about Armageddon, because Armageddon has been going on. Note that Elijah Muhammad taught us this. In 1914, you had World War I. You twisted up the last two numbers around, you have 1941. 1914, World War I. 1941, World War II. That's 27 years. So every 27 years, there was a major war. There was a world war, or as I found out that a world war, what constitutes a world war is small sprats of small wars. Like you going up Desert Storm in the 95 and the 90s, and all the way up to Iraq and all that. That's all Armageddon. So Armageddon has been going. Even Vietnam was a part of that last war. So we've been in World War III. Now what we're coming up is a culmination. So here in about 5 months, we're going to see some we have this election coming up right now, and we have some serious things fixing to happen. Some people say Hillary's going to get it. Some people say that Trump's going to get it. Some people say this and some people say that. But I believe that it's going to be a suspension of the Constitution, because we have certain things like the Orlando gay thing that just happened there in Orlando, all this stage false flag thing. But you got to remember that men think they do something, but it's really Allah. It's really the God in there too. See, this country was based on certain principles, and the foundation is on a principle of Christ. The people is not dealing with that, but that's what it is. And there's something hidden there in D.C. that people don't really understand and don't really know. So I'm just throwing that out to you about no man knoweth the hour. And I hope you got something out of it. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time we call it the Holy Master Blaster Jammer. Peace. Yes, we go to the Holy Book of Wonder, and we're going to reiterate on no man knoweth the hour. You know, people have said, I told you said in the year 2000 that things going to happen. You said in 2012 things will happen. But there was, you know, the thing about 3 strikes, you're out. We're going to go to the Holy Book of Wonder, and we're going to show you something. So be very attentive here. We're going to read from the Holy Book of Wonder here. And we're going to talk about the alignment of the 5 major planets with orb-ship Earth for the first time in 6,000 years came to pass 5/5/2000. That equals the number 12. Nope, 12 now. And we're in the year 2000. We're talking about 2012 also. So we got 5 plus 5 plus 2. And then 5/5/2000, that's 12. That number 12 is very significant. Note, on the 17th, now that 17th is very important also. We're in the year 2000, and we're going to note that on the 17th. So for 2000, we have number 2017. 5/5/2000 equals 12. Okay, we've got 2012. Okay, we got 2000, so we got that 20 there, and we got the 12 also. Note on the 17th, that's 12 days later, traveling from a 26, that number is important too, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Traveling from a 26-degree arch on the 5th, the 5 naked-eyed planets fit within a 19-degree arc of elliptical longitude. Venus passes less than 1 degree from Jupiter. Now we're talking about Jupiter. Jupiter was in play all the way back in the year 2000. Now in the year 2017, Jupiter is going to come down from between Virgo's legs, like the Virgin Mary giving birth to Jesus. Jupiter is known as the messenger. This is wisdom from the Rastafari Mystery School, and this is the Holy Book of Wonder. Y'all need to get the Holy Book of Wonder and study the Holy Book of Wonder before it's too late. This is the Holy Book of Wonder, written by your brother Rastafari Idiomatic. Now we're going to go back through this one more time here now. The alignment of the 5 major planets with orb-ship Earth for the first time in 6,000 years. Okay, note that the Nation of Islam tells us that the blue-eyed devil has 6,000 years to rule. Now, I'm going to say this before I go on. The Nation of Islam was symbolic. You can find this in the book called The Light Shining from the East by Waz Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad's son. And it says that the Nation of Islam, according to their master, Dr. Fawad Muhammad, gave them 60 years to do their thing. That 60 years was up in 1990. So it's nothing strange about Farrakhan now doing the Scientology, because he done became reprobate. I mean, his time was up in the year 1990, so he's just whistling Dixie now. So anything could go. And he's still saying some good things, but he's kind of off. He's way off because their time is actually up. So actually, according to the spiritual structure of the Nation of Islam, there is no more Nation of Islam. So you can stop following the Nation of Islam. The alignment, we'll get back to that. The alignment of the 5 major planets with orb-ship Earth for the first time in 6,000 years came to pass. 5/5/2000 equals 12. Note, on the 17th, 12 days later, traveling from a 26-degree arch on the 5th, the 5 naked-eye planets fit into a 19-degree arch of elliptical longitude. Venus passes less than 1 degree from Jupiter at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 12 years from 5/5/2000 is 2012, and 2012 equals 5. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1, and 2012 equals 5. Maya calendar ends. So can you see the message I received from the heavens? As I did, the gods asked me to run to the mountains. So I ran to the Grand Canyon, and it came to pass that on the 6th, i.e. 5/6/2000, there would be a harvest dance among the Havasupai. Say we had to get up out of there like helter skelter. So I wish to show you here, or reveal the wisdom here coded in nature. The super bird named B15 is 100 and 83 miles long. 1 plus 8 plus 3 equals 12. From 5/5/2000, there's 12 years to 2012, the date the Maya calendar ends. Okay, 23 miles, that's a resonant number of Sirius. But this Rosh Hashanah broke off in the year 2000. It started moving, so the poles began to shift then. It broke off in two parts, about 20 miles. So we can plainly see the esoteric message here of the culmination of the end of the pole shift, the breaking away of the ice. So 2017 will be the total culmination of that particular event that took place in the year 5/5/2000. So the Jewish New Year, you know 911. We remember 911, the year 2001. I'm gonna show you another thing. What I'm bringing out here is the time of Babylon is up. Babylon has failed. It's all over. All this is an illusion. Black Lives Matter, Trump, all this is just a game that they're playing. Their time has been up. They're just stalling for time, trying to make a lot of people lose their soul. All this stuff has to happen. It has to happen. It's just a drama that's being played out. Okay. 5,761. That was the Jewish New Year, September 17, 2001 AD. Jewish New Year that brought 6 millenniums of history, the age of Adam, to an end. It was 6,000 years was up then. And I recorded that 6/4, year 2000. Okay. It says that it was shown in the on the walls of the Great Pyramid. It was shown in the walls of the Great Pyramid that that time it was like in an inch equals so many years. So it showed on the wall of the Great Pyramid that date, September 17, and that was, I'm trying to say is that was 6 days after 911, 17, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right. That was 6 days after 911. So if you get the Book of Wonder, if you go purchase the Holy Book of Wonder, and I think that on the copy that's published now, the front cover is totally different from this front cover, and the back is different from this back. This is like the first edition, and the second edition is out. So if you order the Holy Book of Wonder, you will get a lot of information in the Holy Book of Wonder. I didn't mean to try to sell you the Holy Book of Wonder, but you will see what I'm trying to cause out that you see right now. You will see it in the Holy Book of Wonder. But we're talking about no man knoweth the hour. Yes, we do know the hour. You know, I've been like to the East Coast back and forth. In 2000, we traveled the West Coast back and forth to the East Coast. But in the year 2012, when the Maya calendar ended, we followed the migration. We followed our ancient migration, the Anunnaki, the Hopi, and the migration of the indigenous people, the Aboriginal people, the black people, the Maya. We followed the migration. The Hopi, we went to 3 Hopi mesas, Mesa 1, Mesa 2, and Mesa 3. I had a meeting with Grandfather Martin, which is the keeper of the ancient stone tablets. The elders back in the 1930s chose Grandfather Martin to keep the stone tablets, and that's the information that the Anunnaki, or the ant people, the Anunnaki, gave them when they took them down the base of the Grand Canyon through the Supea. They said that if you study my work, I have a video out about the ant people. Check it out, which is actually the Anunnaki. So the word ant in Hopi is Anu. So Anunnaki, and you have the Anunnaki people, the Pueblo people that built the Chaco Canyon. But check this. You know how the three stars in the belt of Orion is aligned with the three pyramids of Giza, Egypt. Those three stars are also aligned with the three Hopi mesas. Okay, notice that the three stars in the belt of Orion tilt towards Sirius. So Sirius is the manger. So they say the three wise men, that the three stars in the belt of Orion is actually the allegory, the metaphor, the simile of the three wise men who saw the star, and they followed the star. Now check this. The three Hopi mesas are aligned with the three stars, and they point about 120-something miles away from there at Chaco Canyon, a grand place built by the Pueblo people, the Anunnaki, or the Anunnaki built it, and those three mesas point to Chaco Canyon. So Chaco Canyon, so when the wise men, they went to Bethlehem, and Bethlehem means a house of bread, the house of the grains. So in Chaco Canyon, you have these kivas where they stored grain, all this kind of stuff. So I'm showing you that here in the wilderness of North America, I mean, the scatterers, Surah 51, we scattered our monuments all across the globe. We left Egypt with Ingishkadita, which is thought, or Tahuti, and he was cast out of the kingdom in Egypt, so he came over at Central America. He was known as the plum serpent. Quetzalcoatl, the plum serpent, was a thought, our brother thought. So thought and them left, and so when they got into this thing again, so they cast some more people out, and they went over to Cambodia. In Cambodia, they was known as the Niggas. So it was written in the Holy Quran, Surah 51, the scatterers. Even on the moon, Allah is on the moon. So we have monuments scattered, Surah 51, and it says in one of the verses, have the story of Abraham honored guests come to you. So these Anunnaki, I went to Abraham in the Bible. So I've been blessed. I hadn't accumulated a lot of wealth, a lot of earthly things, but I've accumulated a lot of spiritual. I heard people say, well, I said, man, I have no money. I've lived out in California with rich people. I've been all over the United States. My passport has been taken, so I haven't done too much traveling outside of the United States because due to technical difficulties here in America, my passport has been taken away, so I can't do too much traveling. But I don't really want to, because I found out years ago that I'm a Native American. I'm a Native American. The mounds builders, we were the mound builders all over America. We have things here older than the Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. The Grand Canyons down there. I mean, they're temples. That's our work, Egyptian work. If you look at it close, you will see we have pyramids and all. The white scholars are not telling you this. The black scholars are not telling you this. But it all adds up to, it's time to go to higher ground. And I'll probably say we go to the Four Corners area. So we're at this time. I've been out there millions of times, just back and forth. I've checked the energies of the area. I've talked to the Hopis. I went underground 8 miles. I've seen that things go further than that down the Grand Canyon. I went down these ladders and these places that they say they found Egyptian artifacts and all that. I've seen all this stuff down there in the Grand Canyon. You are now into On the One, the Force Yourself. Get this holy book of wonder. I know how the mindset of the people are out there. If the government don't say get it, if the Illuminati don't say get it, you don't get it. And they say that a prophet is not known in his own time. I mean, I've got this work right here. It's being translated into the French right now. Even in Czechoslovakia, they're translating my speeches, my words from YouTube and all this stuff. They're translating in Czech. Everybody's getting all over the world, but the people that think they know me, that I grew up with here, y'all out there on Facebook and places, y'all think y'all know me. We got a lot of haters out there, and you just won't buy the book. You just won't support it, but you'll support somebody like Professor Griff and all. These people. I'm just using Professor Griff. There's a lot of people out. There's a lot of people out there, that's on the lecture circuit. You call them to your place and you pay them dollars, but for some reason you want to starve me out, But I have a plethora of books. I have a gallery of books, over maybe 10 published books out there. So I should be pretty wealthy, but I'm actually starving. But that's okay. You know, they say, you keep saying no man knows the hour if you want to. Some of you say I call us crazy, but the government know I'm crazy. After Washington Post, they did a whole page on me in the Washington Post. I mean, well, I'm not blowing my own horn, but I just want you to know there's a serious ting of one here, and don't. Haile Selassie tried to tell you when he gave his ring to Bob Marley, he tried to tell you there's something to those Rastafarians. And you know, there's one thing about the Rastas in Jamaica. I mean, we're so divided. We're so divided. You know, it's tribal wars and black people fight. I even shed some tears. I was looking at World Star Hip Hop and I saw these black kids fighting. And it's like they love to fight each other. They love to beat each other. It's like they don't even hurt them when they hit him. I saw this young man about in his 30s, real strong, powerful brother, just knock an old man down to his ground. He didn't feel no remorse. Just knock the old man out. I mean, the world has America has become a cage of every foul and unclean bird. And you know, it's like people have no heart. It's like this gay thing that's going on now. You know, the government will not tell people that they're sick and they need a handicap sticker. You know, I'm here to tell you right now, I don't give up. I'm not going to curse like SETI and whatever those guys' name. I forgot their names. But all those guys be out there cursing and using the N word. I'm not doing that. And you should see, I mean, I'm not doing that at all. I'm giving you some serious information. You know, y'all don't believe in God. I mean, you sit back and you're eating all this wrong food. So I know that's one reason why you're insane. But you're clinically insane when you don't know that you're insane. I mean, you're actually sick if you're gay. If you think you was born gay, you're sick. You've been breathing the wrong air. You've been eating the wrong food. You've been taking all this medicine and stuff. You're actually sick. And you got this whole government of people. Now they got it where don't talk about the gays because we're locked. I don't give up. Hey, you know, Farrakhan doing all this body. If you touch me, Allah. Hey, look. Hey, if you're right. See, back in the Bible, it wasn't a pretty thing where the government tried to attack one of the prophets, one of the men sent by God. Some serious will happen if you try to with a man of God. Some serious will happen. So if y'all just rile your butts up, just say it right now, man. Y'all say the hell with it. You got your relatives are gay or something, trying to get some help. He's sick. Don't be afraid of a bunch of faggots. Why would you be afraid of a sick person? You know, you're scared to say and think, their time been up. You don't realize their time is been. They can't do nothing to you. Bob Marley knew he was going to die. Bob Marley knew he was going to die at age 36. He knew he was traveling the path. But there's a song say, it's in the song Jamming. We're jamming. No bullet can stop us now. So we're not worried about a bunch of faggots, a bunch of damn gay people. Man, okay. I'm through with that. I told you you're sick. The Lord himself told me to tell you you're sick. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. You're sick. And you don't believe in your Bible. You don't believe in God. Some of y'all right now make excuses about the truth. Yeah, King James was gay, but what's in that book is right. It's astrotheology, and I don't care if it was tampered with. It's enough, like the old Negroes say. It's enough in there to save you. It's enough in there to save you. So look, allegories, metaphors, and similes. Everything was taken from the Sumerian text. It was taken from the writings on the wall, the mathematical code on the wall of the Great Pyramid. That's what's in that Bible. You just got to realize you can't take it literally. Get the Holy Book of Wonder. Look at it. 30-something years. This thing has got to be deep. This is over 30-something years, and look how many pages. It's small little pages. That's like haiku poetry. Spring comes, the grass grows of its own. There's some serious technology in there. Old mossy pond, frog jumping in, splash. Old mossy pond, frog jumping in. The sound of war. Look, it's a new day. We're actually in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius, and y'all in this daggone street fighting about Black Lives Matter. Hey, babies matter. Save your baby. Every baby, you don't have no more children right now. It's not time to have children. Y'all stop your yabbity-gagging and slagging and carrying on and having children, lusting and burning up. Stop all that, because if a child comes to this world today, it's not going to be that much time for him to grow up anyway. But if a child comes to this world today, he ain't going to know nothing but gayness, mixed couple, mixing your races up and stuff. Your children coming in don't know whether they're black or white. Everybody's confused. Satan wanted to do that. The government know they through did it. They're going to try to kill as many people as they possibly could. The deal is, y'all don't want to hear the truth. Y'all would rather hear Sarah Susan Seti up there cursing, or either Dick Gregory cursing. He's the first man that used the word nigger. And he's still using it today, 80-something years old, and using the word nigger, 80-something years old. Man, that's some crazy stuff. So there has been an experiment. There has been an experiment. I started way back there before y'all even knew about YouTube and all this kind of stuff. Before a lot of y'all got in the scene, all the stuff y'all hearing about, Anunnaki, spaceships. I started all this stuff. I mean, there's been an experiment. I know y'all ain't no good. And hey, it ain't but a few of y'all in my fucking book. And I got about over 900 people on my plane with everybody just, all you hear is man from y'all about everything but the truth. That's true. Come on!
Change you, just stay honest and true, 'cause if they knew what you knew, it's so hard to be the one. I expect for you to make dreams come true, just doing what you do, don't get it. Change you, just stay honest and true, 'cause